Hey everybody, welcome in. So I've been gone the last couple weeks. Last weekend was Easter, and then the week before I was burnt out and needed a break. I'm still in the I need a break, but I figured today we could build some minis. So yesterday or the day before, I got a package from Flying Frog Productions that we had backed on Kickstarter. So we paid for all of this. This is the Adventures iteration of the board game, which is Vikings and some other stuff that adds on to previous content. I have all these plastic screws here and more in a box next to me. So we're gonna see how many we can get through. What do I want to start with? I'm gonna start with the wolves. Let me make some space. And then if there's time, towards the end, I will work on the big one that I've picked out. So, this has got my instructions in it for how to put most things together. Not everything that I have is going to have words are eluding me today. Not everything I have to build is going to have instructions. So before I start, I'm going to show you the tools that I have. I've got 2 pairs of sprue cutters, or they're called side cutters. I think there's another name for them and I can't remember. These are both Army Painter brand, if you can maybe see that. And then this one is written on the, like, etched into the bit here, so you probably won't see that. I've got a couple of craft knives with blades I should change real quick. Because nothing is worse than having a dull blade. I've only ever cut myself once or twice. And not bad enough to need stitches, but enough that it was not an experience I want to repeat. Now, if I can get this to screw back on for me and tighten. There's that one. And I recommend keeping, I have this big one, a sharps container around for your blades and things. Obviously you don't have to have one that big, but it's got a nice big hole for the bigger blades for some of the more heavy duty craft knives. Why did I set that down? I always have a hard time getting this one to screw on the right way because I know it's supposed to turn one way, but I always do it the wrong way. This is the glue that I use. It's Loctite Super Glue Gel Control. It's my favorite. I also sometimes use this Scotch No Run Gel Super Glue, which is a similar concept, but I have some of these that are already open that we're probably going to go through. So let's get into it. I'm trying not to show off the book so I don't get in trouble. Normally I have all my tools over here to the right, but since I'm setting up, for mass assembly, I have everything on the left, and it is not ideal. So this comes with 3 of them. I've got 3 separate sprues. These sprues have little numbers that correspond to the pieces in the book. Unless you absolutely know what you're doing, don't clip them off a whole bunch at once. I've made that mistake and it's not fun trying to figure it out. So I need 1, 2, 5, and 6. Now with side cutters, there's a flat edge and an angled edge. What I like to do is take the flat edge and push it up against the miniature and just snip like that. And it helps keep most of the peg off, so less cleanup. Sometimes I do have to flip it around, which gives me a little bit more cleanup, but it gives for a better angle to clip at, so if you have a fragile piece it won't break. So, I, like many of us hobbyists, have a lot of miniatures. And while I greatly enjoy the Challenge League, I'm just fitting these together without glue or anything to make sure it fits and there's nothing else that needs cleaning. Normally, when, I don't know if you can see that, when you clip something from a sprue, you'll get a little mark you can just sand or craft knife that off real easily. I'm not going to leave it because this is a board game and there's a whole bunch of them to do. But if I feel like it before I paint them, I will. Anyways, I was saying, I love Challenge League. And it has made me paint a lot over the last few years. But I also have thought about it recently, and I have a lot of minis that are not Reaper. I'm gonna glue these together. So I think for a while I'm going to... Hi, Ian. I'm going to work on other projects. Like this and some of my 80mm minis and stuff like that. My real big things. How are you doing, Ian? But like, I've got a couple of these art miniatures made by Golem Miniatures. I can't show the other one because Twitch. But I want to paint soon. I'm still in the process of cleaning it up. It's a resin mini. It's about 100. Wait, it told me on the box. No, that one's an 80mm. And it's very pretty. Okay, I think that's good. Now let's find which leg. I do anticipate gluing myself to things more than once, like I'm already doing. Oh, I'm sticking to things already. I've not found a good way to unstick myself from things, so you'll have to just kind of bear with me a little bit. I think nails were a good choice today. I can use them to hold things down about. Let's see. Ouch. And let's put this guy's head on. Now, a lot of miniatures you get will come multi-piece like this. Not a lot of board games do that, though. Which, for Shadows of Brimstone, wasn't necessarily the most favored of ideas. I don't mind. I like assembly. I can get very meditative with it. Okay, so I've got everything off of that sprue. as far as I know, you cannot recycle the type of plastic that these are. So I just end up throwing them away or cutting them up and saving them for other projects. It's just like bits. So you'll see when I cut off this piece from the sprue, sorry, it's got this big bump here. That is flash. I don't like that. So I'm going to carefully shave it off. It's always best to cut away from yourself. I can't say I always do that. I'm trying to get better about it. There, it's less of a bump now. This is a case I'll probably come back later and make take my sanding sticks. That's where I was going. Come back later and take my sanding sticks and kind of clean that up just a little bit more. Let's see how this fits. Oh, just like that. Okay. Glue him onto his rock. I can't say his base because this goes on top of the black base for gaming purposes. Here we go. These are 40mm bases. You can see when I put the base where it goes that it's obviously bigger than the base, which is why they have the it helps with the squares on the game board. If you don't know anything about Shadows of Brimstone, it is a co-op board game. It's a Wild West meets horror, and you travel through mines, and there we go. I'm just gonna clip these out and keep talking. You're a group of adventurers, and I'm probably explaining this very poorly. I'm sorry if you've played this game and you're yelling at your screen right now. You go into these mines and you fight the monsters, and your goal, I believe, it's been a while since I played this. Your goal, I believe, is to kill the boss at the end of the mine, but in the process you can open gates to other worlds, which are different themes. This Kickstarter specifically was a Viking theme. If you are interested in seeing me paint almost any of the Shadows of Brimstone stuff, please let me know. I have a lot of it that I can put together and paint. I have assembled all of the first 2 core sets, which were Targa and Jargono. One of them is an ice themed otherworld, and the other one is like a swamp serpent men themed. Having a hard time lining this up. There we go. The second Kickstarter was an expansion on that, and had Tradera, which is like a World War I monster mutant sort of deal, and no, that was Kickstarter 1. Kickstarter 2 was Forbidden Fortress, which is a Japanese themed. It's got some really cool, like, mythological creatures that I've assembled, but I've not painted any of. It's got a really cool dragon that I'm probably gonna start on soon. I don't know how well you can see this, but this is Shoryu the Dragon King? Something like that. He's got cool bits and bobs, and I'm excited for him. He does have some big gaps, which is not uncommon for a lot of the Flying Frog stuff, so I'm actually quite pleased with what I'm doing right now, because I'm not running into that problem. When I get back to painting, I am going to work on... Which way does his leg go? There we go. When I get back to painting, I'm going to work on my Hero Forge, Pathfinder 2 Kingmaker miniatures, and hopefully finish those soon-ish. And do those up. I am going to make those into small dioramas, so those will take me a little bit more time than than they normally do. And if you're yelling at your screen that I'm using too much glue, I might be. But it gets them to stick. And if you're impatient like I am, waiting for glue to dry is the worst. This is also a big part of why I use the gel glue, because it kind of holds everything in place and gives it a little bit of a something to hold on to while it's drying, if that makes sense. This one doesn't want to sit on here very nicely. It is fighting me. And if I get super glue everywhere, I can always go back and chip it off and clean it up. And no big deal. I mean, the glue can be expensive, but I would rather use a little bit of extra glue than get stressed and not do a good job. Now, since I've done the other two, I've pretty much got a handle on how these go together. So I'm just going to clip everything off this sprue. Oh, good tip. Make sure when you were clipping the pieces off, you hold it somehow, because sometimes that last little clip will pop itself off and it will go flying, never to be seen again. I thought I turned off Ko-Fi Stream Bot. I have an exciting thing coming up. I am going to start teaching classes with a friend of mine. They will be digital, probably on Discord, maybe on whatever the Google equivalent of a video chat is. Zoom will simply not let us do long enough calls at the free level, and right now it is essential that we use as many free resources as we can. So maybe in the future we'll do Zoom, but for now it's Discord as our main hub. I'm gonna change the music real quick, so I'll be right back. Alright. Just wasn't feeling that. Let's see if I can remember which leg goes to this hole. Not that one. That goes there. So if you're here from Facebook or Instagram, I was streaming on both of those the last time, and I had some issues with Instagram thinking that the music was copyrighted. I am using Streamlabs music app, which I know is Twitch and YouTube friendly, but I'll have to figure out what I'm gonna do if I want to continue to stream on Instagram. Hope everybody is doing well. This is going slower than anticipated. I'm sorry. I think after these I'm gonna put together the bigger mini that I have planned instead of all these teeny tiny minis. That's a good example when something gets stuck to you. It can just pull apart when you try to remove your finger. Now, something cool about Shadows of Brimstone, if I'm remembering correctly, you can, as long as you have a core set, so a game that says core set on it, you're good to go. You don't need to buy everything. Having more than just a core set adds on a lot of stuff, but you really only need whatever theme you find interesting. there are the 3 Fenris wolves. Now I'm going to work on the Serpent King, who is in the back of the book. He has 4 pages of assembly instructions, if that tells you. This is the sprues, multiple, of the Serpent King. I believe he goes on a 90mm base, which is bigger, almost as big as my palm. So let's find which sprue you start with. Not that one. Okay. Start with pieces 1 and 2. Dry fitting is always a good idea because sometimes there are really big gaps that can be hard to fix later. So you dry fit, and then once you're happy with how it fits together, you just glue it. And then if you've got issues with it, you can use something like milliput or green stuff to fill those gaps. I think this glue is almost empty. Get a new bottle of glue, because this one is definitely empty. Okay, now pieces 3 and 5. This is piece 5. And piece 3. Let's not throw things. This guy is going to be real cool. With these minis, I like to just follow the flat planes where they meet together. And glue on one side, not both sides. If you want to, you can... Oops. That's not right. Just a second. There we go. Some people will sand each side depending on how smooth the material is. I find that with the super glue I use, it's not tremendously necessary. 4 and 6. Sorry about that. I promise I'm not going to stream this every week. I will do this occasionally. There's a teeny tiny hole at the back of his throat where his tongue goes. And I wish they had told me that sooner. Anyways, I'm not gonna do a lot of assembly here. I think days that I need just like a down. Oh. See, this is when reading instructions is important. I was supposed to connect the neck to the body before I put the tongue in. Because this necklace goes on his chest, not as like a bit around his mouth. I'm gonna take a second and let him dry and pop my social medias into the chat. I usually have a current command, but right now that page is under construction. So I'm going to leave that one out. I am also going to start a project. I don't know if I'm going to stream this or not, but I very well might. I need to look into the technical aspects. That's not what I want. I don't know. I am going to be painting through the catalog of The Joy of Painting by Bob Ross. If you don't know what The Joy of Painting is, it was a PBS series from the 1980s through the part of the 1990s. And he painted for probably 30 minutes at a time, an episode, and he would just get these gorgeous oil paintings out of it. And the purpose of it was to show that anybody can paint. Whether you're colorblind, whether you're anything that whether you're not talented, which a lot of people think they are not, but he shows that it can be really easy and really approachable. He does mostly landscapes, which is what I'm going to paint. I will be talking more about that on my blog and my Discord. I've always had a really big fondness for him and his work and how he makes it so approachable for people, even now. YouTube has the entire series, plus other things, on the Bob Ross channel. There are 403 episodes. 31 seasons and 13 episodes a season. There are some that I won't do, so I'm not going to do a whole 403. I want to do just the ones that Bob painted. Not... At times he did have, like, guest spots in the mid to later seasons. And some of those are portraits, and some of those are, like, pots of flowers, but I just want to do the landscapes. I am doing this in preparation of doing a painting for someone. I'm not gonna say who because they might be watching. But I'm going to do a painting in that style. The big differences with my project from the originals are that I won't be using oil paint. I have asthma, and turpentine or even odorless mineral spirits agitate it. And I know there are water-soluble or mixable oil paints. I have some, but they come in teeny tiny tubes. And to get as much paint as I need would be hellishly expensive. I don't even know if they sell the same colors that I'd be needing. I'm already having to mix a couple of the colors because I'm using acrylics. I am probably going to be using 5x7 canvas panels for most of them. That comes out to be a little bit cheaper overall, and I can mail them easily because 5x7 envelopes are pretty easy to find. Let's figure out how this wing goes on. It's always important if you've got little bits of, it's called flash, little bits of plastic stuck out, that you can clip that off so it will fit into the holes. Now I'm having to push this in pretty tight because it has a gap. I'm gonna have to hold that there for a minute. Nope. I'm sure this is just riveting video. I'm sorry. Yeah, something is not lined up or it doesn't want to stick here at that join. I don't want there to be, well, maybe if I put some glue down his side where the rest of the wing goes, that might help. I hope y'all are well and enjoying yourselves. Okay, that one's gonna have a little bit of a gap. I can fix that later. Let me figure out which leg goes on which side. I think this one. Ooh, don't rip the wing off. Nope, this one goes on the other side. This one is also suffering from a little bit of flash. I apologize if I keep hitting my camera. This is not the most not one of the easiest things to assemble on this small of a camera. I probably should have considered that sooner. So therefore this other leg goes, whoops, that's not where that leg goes. That's really where his tail goes. His other leg goes there. Okay, that's where I'm at. If you can see that at all. His tail is in 5 pieces. I'm sticking to myself and throwing things. There's part of his tail that goes right there. So see, I didn't lose that clue. Pointy. Not throwing pieces on the floor is also very important. This bit's being kind of fiddly. Okay. And this piece attaches right here. Maybe. There we go. It doesn't go that way. This one might have to be held here a while. Set it down gently, maybe it'll stick. And it'll probably fall off when I put this on. Yep. So this is a case where I'm gonna come back to it later, and I'm just gonna kind of set that there, and maybe the glue will cure. But I think it's too heavy right now. Yeah, it's too heavy. I'll take some curly milliput and just shove in there and stick the pieces together so they will okay. Now, while all that dries, oh wait, he stands. Maybe it'll... I'm gonna rest. No, I'm not. I was apparently supposed to glue all the tail together before I glued it to the body. which, my bad. I could probably be using plastic cement for this, but I don't like plastic cement. It has never agreed with me. Plastic cement is essentially a glue that melts the plastic that you put it on. It doesn't work on resin or metal, and may not work on all plastics, but it melts the two halves of the plastic, and when you stick it together it becomes a solid joint. It doesn't have necessarily a breaking point beyond trying to pull it apart. I think that's how it works. Hey Solnar, how are you doing? I am okay. I'm trying to get this tail to glue. It's something. And there we go. I'm gonna try not to jostle that too much while it dries. Now there's more I have to do to the dinosaur thing, but I'm going to go ahead and move on to the Serpent King because I don't want to undo all that tail work. I'm pretty good. Trying to wade through 4 pages of assembly instructions. I sometimes get my fingers stuck in the... Oh no, not Games Workshop. This is Shadows of Brimstone. It's Flying Frog Productions. It is a board game. Okay. Whoop. Lots of instructions, so you went to G-Dub. Yeah. There's either lots of instructions or no instructions, so it's hit or miss. Trying to figure out how this one fits together. It doesn't have a peg. Not really. There we go. Blue. I think this one's empty too. I'm glad I bought glue before I did this, because I think all these open ones are mostly empty. Glue this arm back on. Maybe. I have several very large minis that come with this game to build. I'm just not ready to actually build it. Because one, I am running out of space until I paint the last Kickstarter of theirs. Because it is taking up the space that I would normally put my works in progress. There's no fitting them back in the box once you've built them. Well, most of them. The big ones will not fit in the box. Like the dragon that I showed earlier. There's no way I'm gonna get that in a box with map tiles and cards and tokens and. Okay, I'm gonna very carefully. Nope. Okay, that's not gonna work. He just has like a ball joint for his head, which is not making it the easiest. True for most of the complex games with miniatures, yeah. It drives me nuts when you can't fit everything back in the box, especially when I have old games that have 5, 6 expansions. I can fit all those in the base box, but those are generally card-based, not miniature-based, but some of them are. Were you here to see the dragon I showed, Selnar? Just clipping off the bit of the tree that he's standing on. Or the dinosaur. It has a name. It's a Qatari beast, not a dinosaur. I apologize. Okay, just a second. This is the final boss dragon miniature, which you can see is quite big. I can't even... I have to hold him up here. That is not going back in the box. Most of the Shadows of Brimstone boxes have been not quite as big as a coffin box, but pretty close. Oh yeah, that's definitely, the dragon's definitely gonna take some time to paint. I was talking earlier, I'm gonna back off of RCL and Challenge League stuff until I can, just a second, I've got pieces, I don't know where they go. Okay, not ready for those yet. I'm going to back off of RCL and work on painting some of the non-Reaper things that I have many of. I've got a lot of really big miniatures that I want to paint, like that dragon. I've got a few larger, like, figures like this one. She's 80 millimeters. I've got the WizKids caravan thing that I want to do. So I've got super glue everywhere on me. I cannot grab onto the plastic. Yes, lots of projects. I'm really hoping this year to get a lot done. I'm not gonna get out of my backlog yet, because I do have a Reaper Bones Kickstarter coming soon, TM. My bottle's empty too. That's 3 of them. You know that one, you have it as well. Have what? The Bone 6? Oh, yeah, okay. That's what I thought, but I completely forgot what I had been talking about. One of those days. And my understanding is the 30th anniversary dragon is massive. You have another one that's a year and a half behind schedule, and another it's 200 plus models. Yeah. Kickstarter, just pretend I didn't do that. Kickstarter just makes it so easy to order things and then thank yourself later. of this dinosaur thing. You'll be thanking yourself later, alright? Yeah. I've been trying to stick to smaller Kickstarters or puzzles. I've been getting a lot of Kickstarter puzzles. But there's that. I just can't help getting more miniatures occasionally. Okay, more than occasionally, but... Let's see if I can get these little rope pieces out of here without breaking them. What are the Kickstarters, if you don't mind me asking? Okay. I'm just trying to figure out how this fits on here before I glue him down. Oh. How about I put the rest of him together? And then try to... Which way does it go? I forgot about the rest of his tail and the saddle that he's on. There we go, that's how it goes. Yep, that glue's empty too. Time to open a new bottle. Probably should have opened that earlier. Okay, back to this. Lasting Tales. Haven't heard of that one. I'll have to look it up. I've been doing pretty good as far as Kickstarters that haven't been on time or, you know, not delivered at all. I want to say in 2016, maybe earlier, I backed a Kickstarter for some foldable measuring spoons. And never heard from, well, I have heard from the company, but I've not yet seen them in my possession. So maybe someday, but I'm not hopeful anymore. Alright. Try to get him stuck on there without breaking anything. Now I've got these two little rope things to fiddly rope bits. Let's see if I can figure out. Oh, that doesn't line up. Alright, this is going to be another fix it with putty situation. But not today. There's just not quite enough space between the where it connects to the bit in his mouth. This is really fiddly. To the other bit of the rope. So I'm just gonna get it glued onto his mouth. Maybe. And then I will do something to fix the rest of it. I think I just did not get his arm at the right angle. Or there's just a lot of space there. The other piece of the rope is right here. Yeah, it kind of meets up on the other side. Not the best, but it kind of works. I'll try to tip this over. Kind of show him off. I'll have to take pictures of that and post it somewhere because it's entirely too big for the camera. Okay. Last ones I'm going to do are the Harvester Drill Team. They remind me of BioShock. If I can find the page. Oh no, options. I don't like options. There are 3 of these. I really apologize, I keep hitting my camera today. Maybe I won't do these today. Yeah, I'm just gonna do these shadow lurkers that I have sitting here. They're like 2-3 pieces. I don't have a lot of time left, I realize. And I think that that might take a little bit longer than I have. Oh, these are 4 pieces. Okay, there are 3 of these. They come in 4 pieces. It suggests plastic glue, which I don't have. Don't want to lose the head. And in this case, I'm just gonna kind of... It didn't go far. It says to glue all the heads together first, so I'm just gonna... Since there are so few pieces, I'm going to rip all 3 of the heads out. And glue those together while I glue the bodies together. I like the ones that have a few pieces, but my problem is a lot of the smaller ones are generally made to be stuck together with plastic glue, and that, again, is not something I have. Sometimes I wonder what makes companies decide this head needs to be 2 pieces. Because it is not the best experience. I have a really cool mini that I am painting for a friend for some event that I don't know yet because I have not started painting it yet. But this mini, she is a photographer. She took literally over an hour to assemble. The camera was made up of like 5 pieces. They've almost got their heads together. Alright, and there's 3 heads. What next? Alright. It tells me that the joints on this are posable, so I can customize them. I have some mild OCD, and oh, no worries, Silner. And that makes me want to make them all the same. Even though I know you're supposed to be able to make them, oops, different. So I'm actually going to attempt to make these the same. If I can not throw pieces everywhere. But see, it's got a very smooth joint there, so you can manipulate them every which way. So I might have to hold this for a minute. I'm gonna put a big dollop of glue there. And I think he's gonna look good like that. Nope, not long enough. I mean, inevitably, I'm not going to make them the same because I don't think I have that kind of control over it, but I'm going to do my best. Let this sit there a minute before I dive into gluing the heads on, because my fingers are covered in super glue and it's making it very hard to hold onto the plastic. So I'm going to take a short water break and I will be right back. Alright, I'm back. Okay, let's see how this head will cooperate. Probably not well, because I did not glue his jaw on very well. So much for the same. Maybe I should invest in some plastic glue and see how that goes, but with as much as I have trouble with super glue, I don't know if that's a good idea either. And there are those. Pull out the bases. I like these bases simply for the fact that they tell me how big they are on the bottom, which this one is a 40 millimeter. Which seems an odd size, but maybe not. I don't know much about bases and sizing, and except it should fit in a square. See if he'll hold still. No, will not hold still, so I guess I'm stuck holding this one here. I'm just gonna kind of lean him. No, he's standing. Okay, I just have to yell at it. And now I'm stuck to him. I'm just gonna move him back here and kind of lean him up against the dinosaur thing. Maybe. Never mind. Not gonna work. So I'll continue to hold him here. I will leave the other one to be glued to the base later. So I mentioned earlier I'm going to be teaching classes. Our website should be up fairly soon. I'm having some issues with getting our domain name transferred over, but that should be going live hopefully this month. I'll just do that. Classes will be about an hour. And digital. So if you are interested, check out my Discord. And you should be able to get in contact with me there. I think I'm gonna wrap it up here for today. Thank you all for coming, and yeah, thanks. I will see y'all next week. Bye.